It was never in my plan to get married because my father always told me that I don't need a man to complete me. As soon as I graduated college, I dedicated all of my efforts and attention to establishing my career. I did my best to make a mark in the industry and to have a title for myself. With that, at a young age, I was able to have a successful position in the corporate world. My skills in digital solutions and data analysis paved the way for me to be one of the best people on our team. In fact, because of these skills that I have, I was able to travel the world, expand my network, learn different things, and even meet new people that are successful in the same field that I am. In short, I was thriving independently, and I am so happy with it because I get to decide for myself and I get to live my life according to my terms. But then I met Kevin. He was the newly installed supervisor of our office. At first, I only see him as our boss, but as days goes by, I felt that his treatment towards me was different compared to the other employee. He would talk to me on the phone and even ask me out on dates that I sometimes agreed, until I developed feelings. But I tried to stop it because I don't want people to gossip about me and our relationship. But he was persistent and the inevitable happened. He confessed and asked me to be his girlfriend, and I happily agreed. The days of my life were once filled with a radiant glow of love and hope as Kevin and I began our journey together. Aside from being our boss, he was a divorced man, wounded by past relationship, and I was drawn to his charismatic charm and gentle demeanor. And on top of that, we have a 30-year age gap that truly frowned people's brows whenever they heard that. But I started to ignore other people's gossip. Kevin was able to change my perspective on marriage, and he made me feel excited about starting a family because he showed me what true love is. However, there were times that I would sulk into sadness whenever I heard people saying that I'm only using Kevin for money and that they would label me as a gold digger, which is completely false. But then again, we continued to thrive individually in our career, and after a year of dating, Kevin finally put out the ring and asked my hand for marriage. We were sitting in a fine dining restaurant, our hands intertwined. As we sat across each other, our eyes were glistening and our hearts were filled with love. Kevin was looking at me intently, and I couldn't feel more in love with this man.
Grace, my love, I have something important to ask you.
My heart skipped a bit. I was nervous, but eager to hear what he was going to say. Yes, Kevin. Kevin took a deep breath, his expression serious yet filled with love.
You know, when I went through my divorce, I thought I would never find love again. I felt lost and broken. But then you came into my life, Grace. You brought light, joy, and a love that I never thought possible.
My eyes welled up with tears, touched by his heartfelt words and sincere love. I could feel my eyes welling up, and my voice started to tremble. Kevin.
No, let me finish. Age has taught me many things, but it has also shown me that love knows no bounds. The 30-year age gap between us doesn't matter to me, Grace. It doesn't define us. What truly matters is the connection we share, the way you make me feel alive, and the love that grows stronger every day.
My eyes sparkled with hope and love, my heart swelling with anticipation. I could feel the excitement in my heart as the tears in my eyes were slowly falling. Kevin, you've brought so much happiness into my life. I never thought I could find someone who sees me for who I truly am, beyond appearances and societal expectations.
You're the most beautiful person I have ever known, inside and out. And today, right here, right now, I want to make a promise to you, my beloved.
My breath caught as I waited with bated breath. He pulled out a ring box and I gasped. And I finally broke it. I cried as he knelt before me.
Grace, the love of my life, Will you do me the incredible honor of becoming my wife? Will you share your life with me, facing the world together through the ups and downs with love and unwavering support?
My eyes welled up with tears of joy as Kevin opened the ring box, revealing a stunning engagement ring. Diamonds! Oh, Kevin, yes! 1,000 times yes! Kevin's face lit up with pure happiness as he slid the ring onto my finger, sealing our love and commitment. The people around us cheered and extended their congratulations. My heart was so full that night. We shared a tight embrace and he kissed me so tenderly.
I love you, Grace. You have brought meaning back into my life, and I promise to cherish and love you for the rest of the days.
Our love was overflowing as the room filled with an aura of joy and celebration, and truly I could say that we fell in love. Our hearts entwined, and for a time it seemed like nothing could shatter the blissful world we had created. After 5 months of preparation, we finally walked down the aisle, professed our vows, and sealed our love with the sacred anointing of the church. Everything was so perfect. We moved in together and I was so happy living this life with him. Our place was big and we even had maids that helped us with our daily chores. Kevin and I tried to have a child immediately, but due to health concerns and unfavorable circumstances, we weren't blessed yet. And unexpectedly, as the years passed, the cracks in our foundation began to show. The 30-year age gap between us became a festering wound for Kevin, a constant reminder of his mortality, and he sought refuge from his fears in the fleeting comforts of other women. I became comfortable in our relationship and I was so devoted to my career that I sometimes don't have time for my husband, and with that, he started to cheat. I was devastated each time I discovered his infidelity, but I clung to the hope that he would change and that our love could weather any storm. But as time wore on, it became evident that Kevin's love for me was superficial, built solely upon the foundation of my physical appearance. My once youthful beauty had begun to fade with age, and he treated me as if I were nothing more than a trophy wife whose purpose has lost its luster. His insults became household words. It sounded so familiar to me because there were no days that he won't mistreat me with abusive words. One day, I stood by the kitchen counter chopping vegetables for dinner, and Kevin entered, his face contorted with a cruel smirk. I know that he came home drunk and late last night smelling like another woman's perfume.
What's the matter, Grace? Can't even chop a simple vegetable properly? You're so clumsy, always making mistakes.
I flinched, my hands trembling as I continued chopping. Kevin, please, I'm trying my best.
Your best? It's never good enough, is it? Look at you, a pathetic excuse for a wife. No wonder I can't stand being around you.
Tears welled up in my eyes. My shoulders slumped under the weight of Kevin's relentless bullying. Why do you treat me like this, Kevin? What have I done to deserve your cruelty?
You have done nothing, Grace. Absolutely nothing. You're just an aging, unattractive woman. I'm ashamed to be seen with you.
My heartache turned into a flicker of defiance, my voice filled with a newfound strength. I refuse to let your words define me, Kevin. I am more than my appearance. I am worthy of respect and kindness. He laughed mockingly at me.
Respect? Kindness? Do you think anyone could respect someone like you? You're a joke, Grace.
I took a deep breath, my eyes filled with determination. No, Kevin, the joke is you. You bully and belittle me because you're insecure and unhappy with yourself. But I won't let your words break me anymore. I will rise above this. Kevin's laughter fades. His face contorted with anger. He slapped me in the face, made me gasp in pain. He shouted at me and even grabbed me by the chin.
You think you can stand up to me? You're nothing without me, Grace. You'll always be a loser.
No, Kevin. I may have tolerated your bullying for too long, but not anymore. I will no longer allow you to strip away my self-worth. I deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, and I will find the strength to leave this toxic relationship. I pushed him away, and I walked out from the kitchen, my head held high, leaving Kevin seething with anger. This was the first time I talked back to him because I have had enough of his constant mistreatment of me. But it didn't change him. It made him worse. He kept on insulting me about my body, looks, and complexion. He would also say that he regretted marrying me. The turning point came when I found undeniable evidence of his affair with our maid, a young and seductive woman whose allure had ensnared him in her web of deceit. The betrayal cut me to the core, shattering what little remained of my self-esteem. I felt like a discarded object tossed aside when it no longer served its purpose. Determined not to be a passive victim, I sought to confront Kevin about his treachery. His reaction was far from remorseful. Instead, he turned the tables on me, accusing me of driving him to seek solace in the arm of other women. His words were a bitter twist of reality, a testament to the delusions he had woven to justify his shortcomings. The pain of his betrayal was unbearable, and I knew I couldn't continue living in the shadow of his disdain. But as I prepared to confront him and put an end to our marriage, fate intervened on his birthday, a day that would change everything. On that fateful day, he presented me with a drink, and an unusual display of affection accompanied his gesture. A glimmer of hope flickered within me. Perhaps he was finally seeing the error of his ways. Perhaps he wanted to make amends. Yet, a small voice inside me urged caution, reminding me of the countless lies and betrayals that had tainted our once beautiful love story. Then a loyal maid who had witnessed the deceitful actions of the seductive maid approached me in secret and whispered a chilling truth into my ear. The seductive maid had plotted to drug me with the contents of the drink, rendering me powerless against Kevin's desires. It was a scheme to put me under his control to ensure that I remained the submissive trophy he desired. At that moment, a fire ignited within me, fueled by a sense of injustice and the desire to break free from the shackles of his manipulation. With determination and a touch of cunning, I switched the drinks, placing the tainted one before him instead. As he took a sip, a sudden tremor seized his body, his hands shaking uncontrollably. Panic spread across his face as he struggled to comprehend what was happening to him. The seductive maid rushed to his side, fumbling to administer the antidote she had prepared for her twisted plan. In that electrifying moment, with all eyes on him, I seized the opportunity to unveil his true nature to everyone present. I recounted the years of mistreatment, the heartache, and his relentless attempts to belittle me and destroy my self-worth. The room fell silent, the weight of the truth palpable in the air. The once proud and arrogant Kevin stood before the crowd, his carefully constructed facade crumbling like a house of cards. The humiliation etched on his face was a bittersweet victory, a stark contrast to the charming veneer he had worn for so long. But I wasn't finished. I had one final card to play. A trump card that would ensure he never forgot the consequences of his actions. I revealed to the gathered guests the depth of his plan to poison me, to rid himself of the ugly burden he saw in me. Everyone, this man right here attempted to poison me. The crowd gasped in unison. I am not making up stories. Here is the glass. You can suspect it or investigate it if you want, because I'm certain that I'm telling the truth, and now I'm exposing all of it. Murmurs filled the entire room, and panic started to grow evident in Kevin and the maid's eyes. This man right here cheated on me multiple times. For what reason? Because I'm ugly and fat? He's a body shammer and narcissistic. And I would gladly divorce you right here and now. I don't want to be associated with you anymore, but I couldn't just leave and do nothing. I will let you suffer." Gasps of shock echoed through the room as the truth was laid bare. The guests, who had once admired him, now looked upon him with disgust and disdain. His image shattered irreparably. He tried to utter excuses, to deny his actions, but his words fell on deaf ears. With unwavering strength and composure, I turned my back on him and addressed the crowd. Once more, I thanked them for their presence on this special occasion and invited them to witness my liberation. I was no longer the victim cowering in the shadows of his cruelty. I was a woman, reborn, embracing my worth and walking away from the toxicity that had threatened to consume me. The humiliation he faced that day was a taste of the bitterness he had inflicted upon me for years. It was a lesson in empathy and kindness, a lesson he sorely needed to learn. As I walked away from his life and the life we had built, I knew that my revenge was not to cause him physical harm, but to ensure that he would never forget the consequences of his actions. I vowed to live my life fully, embrace my true self, and find happiness in my worth. And as I stepped into the world, free from the chains of his cruelty, I knew that I had finally emerged victorious, stronger than ever before. My old husband may have once hated me, but I had found a newfound love for myself, and that was a victory far sweeter than any revenge I could have sought. With each step I took away from the shattered remnants of my old life, a sense of liberation washed over me. The weight of Kevin's mistreatment and the years of anguish I endured lifted from my shoulders, replaced by a renewed sense of self-worth and a burning determination to craft a future filled with happiness and fulfillment. News of the humiliating events at Kevin's birthday party spread like wildfire through our social circles and beyond. Whispers filled the air, and the tale of his deceit and treachery became a cautionary legend, a warning against the perils of underestimating the strength and resilience of a woman scorned. As the days turned into weeks, I received an outpouring of support and encouragement from friends, family, and even strangers who had heard my story. They marveled at my courage, admired my resilience, and shared their own experiences of triumph over adversity. It was a testament to the universal resonance of the human spirit and the power of standing up against injustice. Meanwhile, Kevin faced the consequences of his actions. The once charming facade he had so carefully cultivated crumbled, leaving him isolated and ostracized. Friends distanced themselves, unwilling to associate with someone of such dubious character. The allure of the seductive maid faded as her true intentions became known, and she too faced the consequences of her malicious deeds. While revenge had been a driving force in my actions, it was not the endgame I sought. Rather, it was a means to an end, a catalyst for change, both within myself and within the society that had allowed such mistreatment to fester. The ripple effect of my revenge extended far beyond the confines of my personal life, serving as a wake-up call to others who had turned a blind eye to the suffering of those around them. Emboldened by the newfound strength within me, I channeled my experiences into a mission to raise awareness about the insidious nature of emotional abuse and the importance of self-love. I became an advocate, a voice for those who had been silenced, and a beacon of hope for those trapped in toxic relationships. My story became a source of inspiration, empowering others to find the courage to break free from their chains of suffering. In the months that followed, I dedicated myself to healing and personal growth. I surrounded myself with a support system of genuine and caring individuals who uplifted and encouraged me. Therapy became a vital tool in my journey, helping me navigate the complexities of the emotional scars that Kevin had left behind. As time passed, I began to rebuild my life piece by piece on the solid foundation of self-love and resilience. I pursued my passions, delving plunging into creative endeavors that had long been neglected, I rediscovered the vibrant woman I once was, embracing the wisdom and beauty that age had bestowed upon me. Throughout it all, Kevin remained a distant memory, a specter of the past that held no power over my present or future. The revenge I sought had accomplished its purpose, transforming me from a victim to a survivor and propelling me towards a future filled with joy and fulfillment. Looking back, I realized that the true victory in this tale was not in Kevin's humiliation, but in my liberation. I had emerged from the shadows, transcending the boundaries of societal expectations and proving that strength and resilience could thrive in the face of adversity. My old husband's hatred had indeed fueled the fire that burned within me, but it was my determination and unwavering belief in my self-worth that guided me towards a brighter future. As I basked in the warmth of my newfound happiness, I knew that I had triumphed over the darkness that had threatened to consume me, and so my story became a testament to the power of the human spirit, to the indomitable strength that resides within each one of us. It was a reminder that we are not defined by the cruelty and mistreatment of others, but by our ability to rise above it, to find the light within ourselves and to forge our paths towards a life filled with love, compassion, and self-empowerment.
How's the new house?
It's alright, I guess.
You seem a bit down.
Well, I was thinking we should have talked about that beforehand.
While my husband was mumbling and not attempting to continue the conversation, the car arrived at our house. In front of us stood a grand two-family home. Oh, what an impressive house! My husband remained silent, lost in his thoughts without saying anything. My name is Kaya, and I am 34 years old. I am currently dedicated to raising our child with all my might. Taking care of our child, who is now 6 months old, has been much more challenging than I imagined. Initially, I had planned to return home 1 month after giving birth and not rely on my parents' help, but due to certain circumstances, I ended up staying at my parents' house. I am truly grateful that my mother actively assists me with childcare as I struggle with the unfamiliar tasks of raising a child. In the first place, the reason I had to rely on my mother's help was because my husband, Tyler, displayed the utmost level of incompetence. My husband and I celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary and finally conceived our long-awaited first child. Until our 3rd year of marriage, we hoped for a natural pregnancy, but as there were no signs of conception, we began visiting a clinic together to try infertility treatments. However, after 2 years of continuous efforts with no signs of pregnancy, we became mentally exhausted and decided to stop the infertility treatments. We then discussed the idea of enjoying our married life as a couple and started searching for a piece of land to build a home where we could fully embrace our lives together. Due to my professional connections in the construction industry, I sought the help of the manager of a construction company whom I was acquainted with, and we managed to find a piece of land that met our criteria. When it came time to make the purchase, my husband made an unexpected remark.
I'm the one who should handle the formalities.
Since we'll be paying off the loan together, wouldn't it be better to have a joint ownership?
No, I'm the pillar of the family, so let me take care of this.
What does he mean by pillar of the family? If we consider only the earnings, I actually make more than my husband. But mentioning this might hurt my husband's pride. Of course, my husband is aware that I earn more, but I deliberately avoid bringing up that topic. Although there are some aspects that don't sit well with me, we are still a married couple, even if it's in my husband's name. There shouldn't be any major issues. I decided to accept my husband's assertion. Not only did the construction company assist us in finding this land, but they also helped with the construction itself. Just when we were about to begin the construction, I discovered that I was pregnant. We were overjoyed and in the height of happiness, experiencing unexpected good fortune. By the time the house is built, the baby will be born.
Yeah, that's right. It's something to look forward to.
Our dog will also be able to run around in the yard on this land, right?
Yeah, we can let it play outside a lot.
I wonder if I'll eventually be able to chase after it with my child. We have been preparing to welcome a puppy through a breeder since before pregnancy. I have loved dogs since I was a child, and my parents also had dogs at home. At that time, I believed I could have everything I wanted. However, right after the pregnancy was confirmed, I was forced to be hospitalized. I experienced ongoing abnormal bleeding, and as a result, I was diagnosed with a threatened miscarriage, leading to a 1-month hospitalization.
Leave everything about the house to me. I'll make sure to check on it properly.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I entrusted all the matters of our new home construction to my husband. After being discharged from the hospital a month later, my anemia symptoms didn't improve, and I spent most of my time lying down. I couldn't visit the new house under construction and could only rely on secondhand information from my husband.
Don't worry, the construction is going smoothly.
Thank you.
By the way, I have a suggestion. Since I'm also busy with work and can't stay at home, wouldn't it be better for you to stay at your parents' house?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm worried. It would be reassuring if your mom could take care of things during the day.
I feel like my husband shows more concern for me, but it's as if he's subtly suggesting that I'm in the way. When I contacted my mother, who lives nearby, she seemed concerned about my health. She said, "Since it's a maternity leave, it's better for you to stay here for a while." Despite being concerned about my husband's attitude, I decided to rely on my mother. And after spending 2 weeks back at my parents' house, I received a call from the construction company's manager.
How are you feeling?
Thanks to everyone's support, I'm recovering well. However, I still can't move around, so I haven't been able to visit the house.
What happened afterward?
The manager hesitates in his words. Could it be that something happened with my husband?
Well, you see, the contract is in your husband's name, so it's not an issue for us. But your husband requested an increase in the loan amount.
Huh? Why would he suddenly need an increase in the loan? We've already completed the design plans and started construction. What do you mean?
I see, so you haven't been informed.
No.
Your husband expressed the desire to expand the house.
Words fail to come out. Expanding the house? I never heard such a thing. What does this mean?
Actually, your husband and mother came to the company.
Mother?
No, I mean your husband's mother.
Okay.
He wants to make it a 2-household house, you see. From our perspective, since we've just started the construction, we can still manage to lay the foundation in time. It would increase our revenue, so it's not a bad deal. But Kaya, you weren't aware of this, right?
I wasn't aware.
I thought so. It's a tricky situation because the contract is in your husband's name.
May I have some time to talk with my husband? I end the call with the manager and place my hand on my belly, contemplating. What does this all mean? Oh my, what are you trying to do? Mom. What? Our house will become a 2-household house. Huh? I told my mother everything I heard from the manager. Did you discuss living together, Kaya? Not at all. We never talked about living together in the future. I see. Maybe you should have a good talk with your husband. Yeah. What will you do if it turns out that he really wants it? I can't accept it, because it means he proceeded without consulting me. I understand. Well, don't worry about the future. You have your own job, and I can take care of the kids. Thank you. Receiving strong words of support from my mother, I become much calmer. I immediately contact my husband. Hello, it's about the house.
Yeah, what is it?
Is the construction going smoothly?
Yeah, I visit it every day.
I see. I can't wait to visit it soon too.
No, you still need to rest. You can't push yourself. I'm taking care of it, so it's fine.
While it may sound like he's concerned about me under normal circumstances, knowing the truth, his words now sound like he doesn't want me to know until it's completed. I want you to send me some pictures.
Well, I don't usually have my phone with me, you know.
The next time, take it with you and take some pictures.
It's kind of, I feel sorry. Taking pictures of the hard-working people at the construction site.
The landscaping is the last thing, right? Our dog will enjoy it, won't he?
Do we really need to get a dog?
Why would you say that?
Well, we're having a baby, and maybe the dog will scare the baby.
Do you think so? Oh, by the way, your mom didn't like dogs, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the dog...
No, that's irrelevant. It's our house after all.
Yeah, you're right.
There won't be any changes to the construction, right?
Yeah, no worries. I'm handling it properly here.
Tyler didn't say there won't be any changes. This sneaky side of him has always been there. He won't clearly affirm it to later escape by saying I never said there won't be any changes. I hung up the phone, but I could only see a difficult future ahead, and I'm only 3 months pregnant. I thought a bright future awaited us, but I never expected to be caught up in such problems. That night, my mother went to visit our under-construction house and took some pictures for me. My mother seems to be furious after seeing the site. This is unbelievable. How could he do something like this? I look at the pictures in shock. The foundation for the 2-household house is clearly built on the land, but there is only enough space in the yard for 2 cars to park. I've never heard of building a 2-household house without a wife's consent. He's clearly trying to smooth things over with an after-the-fact report. Exactly. I can't believe it. Mom, I'm willing to get a divorce and come back home. Even if he does something like this, you can't trust him anymore, can you? Yeah. Fine, go ahead and come back. You can continue living here. Thank you, but I'm not getting a divorce just yet. Well, why not? It's annoying, if he goes all the way and won't turn back, then I'll get a divorce. I understand. Make yourself comfortable here. Afterward, I informed my husband that I would stay at my parents' house for a while. He readily agreed and my condition improved. I was able to spend the mid and late stages of my pregnancy comfortably. And when our child was safely born and a month had passed, my husband told me it was time to come back. I still can't come back. My condition isn't perfect yet.
Huh? But it's been a month since the baby was born. I want to see him soon.
Then why don't you come to my parents' house?
That's a little...
My husband has never been fond of visiting my parents' house because he doesn't get along with my father. For me, this was a convenient situation. In this day and age, if you give birth, you can't come to see your baby. Coronavirus became an unexpected barrier. So my husband hasn't met our child yet. To be honest, I don't feel like bringing them together like this, but that's a discussion for the future. After all, he is the father of the child. My husband continues to contact me frequently, and time passes. 6 months after giving birth, I got in touch with my husband and planned to meet up. However, instead of coming to my parents' house, he suggests meeting at a convenience store near my parents' house, showing his cowardly side. Does he really not want to see my father that badly? As soon as he sees me, my husband looks puzzled.
What about the baby?
The baby is at my parents' house.
Why didn't you come back with a baby?
Because you didn't prepare anything necessary for a newborn.
Well, there's a window though.
Exactly, that's what I thought. With just that, I can't bring the baby home. Today is just me. Despite eagerly waiting to meet the baby, he hasn't prepared anything for the child. This is the extent of his concern. Afterward, my husband drives the car in silence. How's the new place?
Yeah, it's okay, I guess.
Do you think the ceiling is low?
Well, I thought we should have discussed it beforehand.
Tyler continues mumbling without attempting to continue the conversation. During that time, the car arrives at the house. In front of me stands an impressive two-household house. Oh, what a splendid house. Tyler remains silent, still feeling uncomfortable. I open the front door without caring. It's so dirty. It's hard to believe the room is brand new. The entrance has a bag of garbage, emitting a foul smell. The stairs are dusty and cluttered with trash. And as I enter the living room, my mother-in-law is lying on the messy sofa, munching on potato chips. Oh, it's like a character from a drama I've seen. The dining table is filled with bags from various fast food chains. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen your face. Sorry for the lack of contact. What have you been doing? Hurry up and clean the house. I don't want to. What did you say? I said, I don't want to. Maybe your hearing is failing. What are you saying? I can hear perfectly fine. You're the wife of this house, so clean up quickly. I ignore my ranting mother-in-law and look at my husband. This house is completely different from the one we designed. Well, I already knew that.
Well, it may be like that, but my mom feels lonely alone, and living in a two-household house means we can live in a bigger house. I thought it would be good.
What? I didn't want that. What you want doesn't matter. You're the daughter-in-law of this house, so you should take care of me and make sure you clean up the house and pay the mortgage. No, I have no obligation to pay because I'm not going to live here. What?
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
It's not a matter of what it means. I unleash all of my anger at my husband. You've been planning this since I was hospitalized, haven't you? I knew it. Sending me back to my parents' house was just an excuse to show off. Who will live in a house that doesn't reflect my wishes? You deceitful jerk. Due to raising my voice, my head starts spinning. I gather myself and take a deep breath. I'm getting a divorce. There's no room for negotiation. This is an act that greatly undermines the trust between a husband and wife.
Come on, I can't pay off the loan for this place by myself. Don't you have an obligation to contribute too?
No way. You're the breadwinner and you took care of all the contracts and loans using only your name, right? As the breadwinner, you should be the one paying. Good luck with that, Mr. Breadwinner.
Wait a minute.
There's no way I'm staying in this dirty house for another second. Well, I'll leave this divorce papers here, so sign them. I placed the divorce papers on the cluttered coffee table. Wait a moment. My mother-in-law stopped me as I tried to leave. Tyler, sign it right now.
Huh?
It's fine, isn't it? This kind of wife, let me handle it from here.
Well, but...
No buts, just sign it. My mother-in-law was doing a great job. At that moment, I felt like bowing down to her. Reluctantly, my husband, who couldn't go against his mother, reluctantly picked up the pen, and my mother-in-law hastily scribbled in the approval section. Thank you very much. Well then, goodbye. I left the room in a confident manner, leaving behind the two of them. I submitted the divorce papers and the divorce between me and him was finalized. Afterward, my husband repeatedly tried to reconcile, but he never mentioned anything about the children. He probably can't handle paying off that grand two-household house loan alone. There's no obligation for me to help them. The child has reached 6 months and has started to smile a lot. I feel like parenting is filled with more difficult moments. However, I find solace in the sight of my past self smiling happily. I'm filled with gratitude for the support of my parents. After a while, I learned from the construction company manager that the 2-household house was put up for sale. It's unfolding exactly as I expected. Even if it sells, it probably won't make a profit, and our family has welcomed a puppy, happily running around in the spacious yard. I wonder if by the time the child starts walking, they will play together. I'm really looking forward to the life ahead. Building a different world without consulting your spouse? How could you? It's the expected outcome. Did you think the child would manage somehow? It's a mystery. It's good that you were able to quickly divorce with the support of your mother. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let's meet again in the next video.